The essence of Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Arjuna, a mighty warrior, and Lord Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the site of the war between two cousin brothers, Pandavas and Kauravas. The battlefield was located 150 kilometers northwest of Delhi. The purpose of the war for Pandavas to regain the control of the kingdom of Hastinapur. The name of the battle is popularly known as Mahabharata battle. At the outset of the battle, Arjuna sees his intimate relatives, teachers, friends, and grandpa ready to fight and sacrifice their life. Overcome by the grief and pity, Arjuna's mind becomes bewildered, drops his bow, and declares his mentor, Lord Krishna, he will not fight the war. He becomes overwhelmed by the sorrow. That is what brought Gita into existence. Lord Krishna preaches Arjuna to give up all sorrow and perform his duty. The word Gita means song and Bhagavat means God. Thus Bhagavad Gita means song of God or the divine song. Bhagavad Gita consists of 700 verses in 18 chapters. The ancient battle of the virtuous Pandavas and their evil-minded cousins Kauravas symbolizes the struggle between the forces of virtues and vices, between the lower and the higher impulses in the man. This battle of Kurukshetra occurs constantly, day in and day out in the mind of every individual. Arjuna submits to Lord as his disciple. Krishna begins his teaching to Arjuna by explaining the distinction between the temporary material body and eternal spirit, which is soul. The soul is unborn, eternal, and changeless. Soul is not killed when the body is killed. Then the Lord tells him the cycle of action, duty, and the result. You have a right in performing the action only and not in the fruit of the action. Lord explained action is the cornerstone of the life from the birth to the death, but we live in a vicious cycle of egocentric desire which lead to action, creating vasanas or impression in our mind with all its attachment. It is the desires which destroy our knowledge and wisdom by building a thick wall of ego which prevents achieving divine spark of life within us. Karma Yoga is summarized as control of senses, act selflessly, act without attachment, and act with a total dedication to God. Mind is a breeding ground of all desire, thoughts, actions, and vasanas. Meditation means controlling of the mind through vairagya, detachment, and abhyas, which is called constant practice. Through meditation, one can achieve the equanimity, that is to say, being calm and even tempered. He is a yogi who is not attached to the object of the sense or to action and whose mind has ceased to roam endlessly. Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna what happens at the time of death and how the soul is repositioned. The Prayan Kala is the time of the soul leaving the body, that is death. If you remember me at last moment of the life, you will attain me, since this may not be probable. Therefore, he advises, you must remember me at all the time and continue to do your duty. There was a doubt lurking in Arjun's mind as to how a finite creature of a limited mind and intellect could ever embrace and comprehend the entire limitless infinite. In response, the Lord showers the manifestation of His divine glory so that the mind of a devotee may turn to the God at all times and in all things. To begin with, a devotee sees the glories of God in the majestic of things, in nature, in animal, in human and celestial being, in the sun, the ocean, the mountain, the river, the birds, animals, sages, and others. But later he beholds that his glory is in the smallest and the most insignificant objects of the world also. Arjuna reveals to Lord Krishna to show his magnanimous form called Virat Swarup. The request is fulfilled by Lord. Arjuna is given the intimate sight by which he beholds the cosmic form of the Lord Krishna called Vishva Rupa Darshana. The cosmic form has a splendor of 1,000 suns blazing out of at once in the sky. Seeing the cosmic form, Arjuna is bewildered. Shri Krishna explained the two basic elements in the universe, Purusha and Prakriti, the Supreme Spirit and the nature. Two are required to produce any living creature. The Lord says there are three kinds of personalities in this world, namely Kshara and Akshara, which is perishable and imperishable. The perishable is all being and imperishable is the soul. But the third personality, the highest spirit, is called the Supreme Soul. This Supreme Soul is myself and called the Purushottama. Lord further explained the divine and devil attributes. Divine attributes is developed based on sattvika path, while the devil attributes are developed based on rajasic and tamasic path, or the lower quality attributes. Lord explained in the last chapter of Gita renunciation and abandonment called sannyasa and tyaga. He also gives the final preaching that give up all your worldly duties and take shelter in me. I will save you from all sins and grant you the liberation. At the end of the dialogue, Arjuna regains his wisdom and declares that he is ready to fight. Thus ends the divine song.